All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Live from Redhook here at the Function House. Tonight we have two very special guest DJs that we want to welcome to the show. We have Espinal and Nova. Welcome, guys.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to Redhook.
You got to talk into the mic, my man.
What's up, everybody?
Is your first
How you guys doing?
First time in Redhook?
Yeah, it's first time out here.
Really?
Yeah.
Where you guys from?
It's not my first time. I grew up in Brooklyn. I live in Mill Basin. Right now, I live with my girlfriend in Sheepshead Bay.
Oh, nice. So you've never been to Redhook before?
No, I mean I grew up in Bensonhurst in Brooklyn, and I moved to Staten Island when I was younger.
Okay.
So I've been.
Oh,
out
you're a
there.
transport.
I'm a transport. I came back a couple of years ago, back to Bay Ridge, and
Okay,
it
that's
was
my
actually
hood.
around the same time that when I was living there, I linked up with this guy. So
You guys been putting out records, man.
Yes.
So Nervous, I seen. What
yeah,
other labels you put out?
we got Nervous. We're on Under the Radar with Roger Sanchez. We have In the Loop with Lupe Fuentes. We have another one, Vortex Recordings, right then.
Vortex.
And we have a 3-track
Tommy
EP
Boy
coming out
Records.
with Sydney Blue next on Blue Music too.
Blue Records.
Yeah, Blue Records.
How did you guys link up?
I mean, we did a Coney Island party at Place to Beach
Place to Beach.
a couple of years back. He played he was playing, solo what he was doing. I was
It was
playing
actually
on,
the opening day.
the opening day where they did the first house music parties at Place to Beach ever.
Okay.
Over there on the Saturday. So
Is that a Jerry B event?
yeah, that was with Jerry and those
Shout out
guys.
to my man.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow, Jerry B putting the house guys on. That's a shocker.
Well, it was Jerry. He came in with John Paul and those guys when
Okay.
he mounted them. So that
Okay.
obviously that's where the house came in. So
Makes sense.
yeah. So
So that was your first gig as a team?
no, not as a team. We were separate on that gig.
Okay.
I played by myself as Nova. He was Denny Espinal, and we just became friends. Hung out, and then thereafter, it was just.
So this is fairly recent.
Yeah, the past couple of years.
Past like
Yeah.
three years?
I mean,
maybe?
we played separately as friends for like a year or so together, and then just after really realizing the music background that he had and the passion for the production, and seeing him in my scope, we started hanging out more, and we started traveling together and doing things together, but not really playing together still. But once we started working in the studio together, it was just like, all right, I make music on my own, he makes music on his own, and the records that we were making together, just the sound was just that
Just
much
makes
better. It
sense,
just makes
yeah.
sense.
So where are you working? Where are you working? What studio are you guys working in? You have a studio in your house?
Yeah, Danny's home
Nice.
studio.
I mean, I just moved into a 2-bedroom, and I built a whole bedroom just dedicated to my studio. So this upcoming year, I plan on releasing a lot of more music on Nervous, Tommy Boy Records, In the Loop.
What equipment are you working on?
We use Ableton as a DAW. I use mostly samples when I make music. I use a TR8 machine. I have a Roland synth machine, but mostly I use VSTs.
You've been making music for a while.
Yeah, I've been making music for the past roughly 5 to 6 years.
What do you got coming up? Like, where do you guys play in New York City?
So recently we did a party in TBA. It was actually our first party.
Yeah, it was our first event together as kind of throwing the party. So we bring our friend Sydney Blue out from Toronto to play with us.
Shout out to Mehmet. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that. And we got a couple of things rocking. I mean, we played all the clubs separately. I've played Pasha, Output, all those clubs like back in the day, Cielo nights, basically everything you think. And we're just kind of to ourselves, we're like, all right, how many more gigs can we do around here that we haven't already done? We have more records coming out. We got music coming out. We got people from, outside of New York supporting these records and playing these records in the club. You know what I mean? So at the same time, it's like, all right, we love New York. We love New York. We love New York. But we gotta step outside the box now a little bit.
What do you guys predominantly like to produce, and what do you guys like to predominantly play when you're playing your gigs? And how did you just gravitate towards that?
I mean, personally, I like to adapt to a crowd. So depending on the party, the headliner, I basically adapt my style. So sometimes I go tribal. If I'm playing with an Oscar G or if I'm playing with a techno guy, we played a Umek party at Analog this past February. Then we play a little more tech house, the harder tech house. So we basically like to adapt to the
Mostly stick towards like the peak hour, tech house, not really commercial, but more in the lane of where, the masses come out for. We like that tech groove. I mean, my musical background doesn't just extend to house music, so it's just like I keep that grooviness. And when I met him and we started working together, he was more, we called him the Carl Cox. He was more that techno.
I
He
think
loved that dot.
what made us first click is I had a gig at Monarch. It's a club in San Francisco. And then I just called him out the limb. I was like, you want to come with me? You want to come out to Cali on my gig? And he was down. So we rounded up like 3 or 4 guys, and we played the gig. And after that day, we just pretty much combined. And
yeah, we had come back from that gig. I played a couple of gigs by myself. He played a couple of gigs by himself. And have you have it that there was a gig in the summer at the Brooklyn Social with my guy from Hot Entertainment, Adrian Hoda, and the scheduling from the 2 different set times, it was like, all right, Danny plays a decent set time and I play a decent set time, or do you guys just want to play back to back and get the main set time? So it's kind of no brainer at that point. And then after that gig, we just stuck together and produced together, and everything we do is live, breathe, and just do what we've been doing, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
So do you feel that putting out records, you're getting booked because you guys are putting out records? Do you feel that you're getting booked more?
100%. Nowadays, if you don't produce, I mean, you're just another DJ. You have to make music. And basically, what we're trying to focus on right now is create our own sound.
Yeah.
So when you hear a track, you know, okay, this is an Espinal Nova track coming out. So we like to stick to that New York sound. We like the tech house, tribal, techno,
something that grooves. I like to make them shake, and if they're shaking, it's working. You know what I mean? I was always a big firm believer in girls follow DJs, guys follow girls. So if you're getting the women out to the dance floor and you're getting people loving your music and dancing, it's going to be a good time. So you have to play that more upbeat.
He's not the first one who said that on
You
the
know
show.
what I mean? So, I come from, besides just house, like I said, he was the more techno guy. I was the more housey guy. I grew up in loving classic rock and being a band geek, and I play guitar, piano, all that stuff. So this guy's like the computer engineer, mastermind, arranger, and I got that groove with the live instruments and being able to put the synths down and bringing a melody in and all that stuff. So
playing piano really helps.
Yeah, I play a ton of musical instruments. I'd be the first to say it. I was a band geek back in the day, but in soul.
What do you play?
I play. Started with the clarinet. Always kind of knew how to dabble with the piano because my mother played it. Saxophones, all 4 different types of them.
You look like the last person.
Yeah, you wouldn't even know.
Play these instruments.
Guitar, Jimmy Page, and those guys were my idols. Like I love blues rock, so I guess that's really kind of why I was inspired to loving that groovy type tech house, because a lot of that classic rock music was in like 130 BPM, 134 to 140, and they're on the same type of musical timing. So that bluesy rock, that's that groovy, grungy stuff that was kind of the equivalent to that dance music culture, which is today. So, I mean, I guess we kind of just met at a median with his techno and my housey groove, and it just kind of met perfectly in the middle. And
do you guys have any type of management representation, or you guys are managing yourself?
No, we just take it as it comes. We stick to the music. We keep our circle with us guys. I mean, there's so much, people to work with in New York, outside of New York. It's really, I feel like we got to keep putting out more tracks. Once we put out more tracks on a consistent basis, we'll have those people come. We don't need to rush a good thing.
And do you have somebody that's like supporting you in your corner, that's putting you on more often in some of these places, or it's just you sort
We
of
work with a few promoters. Mike Nervous, John Paul, a few, Errol from Jersey.
Yeah, the guys at E-Rock down there in Jersey. We got a couple of gigs coming up.
We have Adrian, a new promoter that's been putting us on.
Yeah. So we got our core New York guys that have been around. We've always kind of stayed in the same circle, but,
I also have my promoters, Heather. She has a party, Risky Business, that I've been involved with the past year. And we thrown a bunch of events together.
So how do you guys get the traveling gigs? Are people calling you for these traveling gigs?
Well, I mean, we've had things outside music conference. I've just done my own type of networking and going there over the past years. And then once the record started coming out and we did it together, we would get more of those bookings. And a couple of years back, I went on with a bunch of my buddies to the Groove Cruise, which was down in Miami. And I've been doing that for 5 years now. And 2 years ago, I was fortunate enough to get booked as a gig, and I played by myself when we went down there. And I just linked up with like a bunch of the DJs. It's just more of an intimate thing. So like guys like Roger Sanchez and like people like that, I was being able to actually hang with, talk with on a different level. I came back the next year. They invited me again, and this is when me and Danny were rocking together. I was like, "Yo, you're coming on Groove Cruise with me." So
we paid this last year.
Yeah, we played the Groove Cruise, and we'll be playing the Groove Cruise Miami coming up this year in January again. So it's that's how we kind of keep that outside of New York network going. So the Groove Cruise and those guys, Jason and all them at Wet Travel,
under the radar.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it opened a lot of doors for us to get outside of New York, and we're very grateful and happy that we can be able to do that.
So there's a lot of DJs that are not represented by like an agency. So how much goes into actually booking your own gigs? Are you like
I
getting
mean,
up? Are you getting
we
up
are
during the day
artists,
making
we are
calls?
management, we are producers, we are DJ, we are promoter, we are guest list, we are everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's very hard to do, but at the end of the day, it's you know, we have to be comfortable to that point on what we're doing with our brand and have somebody that's, you know, going to be as interested and as confident in our passion as we are. Because if they're not, then there's no point in even messing around with it, because we're not playing this as a game. We've done this as, you know, fun. I love music. He loves music. We're at that level. He's older than you, 34 now? He's got a
Wow.
Yeah, no, listen. He's got a son. You know what I'm saying? He's got a kid. I'm 28. I'm a little bit younger, but I've been doing this for like 4 years now. So I have a job too. Like, this is not a fun thing for anymore. I love it. It's fun, but we want to take this to the next level. We have been serious about this since we started, and the only reason why I haven't really linked up with nobody, because nobody I felt was as serious as me until I met him. And he shares that same passion with me, and we want to take it to that next level. So when we're comfortable to do so,
well,
you know?
It's 1,000 times harder today,
Absolutely.
right? Because the pool is so much bigger, and the competition is so much greater, right? And technology makes it easy for everybody, but also you have to have that social media game.
Well, we're missing that marketing aspect, and at the end of the day, again, we're music men. You know, there's only so much we can do. So how much
That's
of the
a job
marketing,
that's a
yeah,
job
the
all in
analytics
itself.
and all that stuff
Yeah.
that goes into it, I don't know. My ass from my elbow that I can play
gotta get
guitar
all the
good.
homies.
but-
Little by
Yeah.
little, the big guys are recognizing us, and they're starting to help us out.
Okay, so are they playing any of your music?
Yes.
Okay,
So
what is the record that's working for you guys right now that you've made?
we have numerous records. Last year, Oscar G charted us on
The
our
top
Kiera
10
by
records
Lar.
for the year for
For the
Kiera
whole
by
year.
Lar.
That was our record.
On that one, I mean, Roger had the track Hammer we put out on his label on Under the Radar, which he was playing in front of me live on Groove Cruise. So that to me was something special. Like, for guys like that we've looked up to and been inspired by for years,
Yeah,
to be
that gotta be a
standing
sick
there
feeling.
and
I
watching
feel
that
right now
person,
Roger's hot to
like,
us.
you know what I'm saying, like, to play your record in front of you, like,
well,
that was something
he's
special.
got a lot of power too. I mean, so when Roger Sanchez gets behind you with your tracks, then that's going to give you great exposure. You know, because
Now,
he's
most
also because he
recent-
still does his podcast,
Just
right?
all around humble guy. He put us on the Release Yourself radio show. I mean, I send the guy an email. He emails me right back with, he calls himself Master Sanchez. He's the Jedi Master. And, you know, to me, he's a mentor. He was one of the fortunate guys that I could look up to and be like, you know what, this guy respects what I do, as so reciprocated towards him. So, like, appreciated for that. And, you know, to meet people like that in the industry that want to help these young guys come up and see what they're doing, it's, you know, it means something. You know?
And he's one of the greatest.
Definitely.
Let me ask you this: how many records are you guys sitting on right now?
Right now we have 8 out. Right, we have 8 together.
You
At
have,
least.
like, stored, ready to put out. You guys make
Do you
make
stockpile
records on this?
anything?
Yeah, we have a bunch of stuff we just unsigned,
Folders,
undone. We
folders.
play in our sets, but you know, we're very meticulous with our tracks, and we like to only put them out when we're 100% confident and send them to shop around for labels.
You're
So-
in the studio every day. Almost
Yes.
every day you're in the studio.
Yes. In the studio every day, and I work with several engineers that help me mix and the master. I work with Danny Teniglia's engineer, Sebastian. He helps me mix and master all my tracks. I work with another engineer in Mexico. His name is Chadi Ortega. He's been helping us mix and master recently. Most recent track is on In the Loop with Lupe Fuentes. She's a new artist out. She's really hot right now. We recently did a party at TBA with Sydney Blue. She's from Canada. So right now, our next party, we're trying to bring Lupe down at TBA.
You working with any artists, any solo artists, like doing tracks with them?
I worked with Alan Neves. Right now, he has the #1 song on Beatport.
Yeah, he's doing good too. So we had him on the party actually with us at TBA on Cinco de Mayo. So he actually, you know, he works with Maya Records and Joski and those guys too. So those, you know, a lot of good stuff coming out of.
So when you guys aren't playing your tracks in your set, what producers do you like to play? Is there anybody that you're gravitating to right now, or is there anybody right now that you feel is really hot in terms of what they're making?
I mean,
There's so many guys,
Yeah.
man. There's so many guys to
music's
even put a finger on
constantly
it.
evolving, and you just got to stay with it.
When me and this guy go on our sets, it's like I'm on Traxsource refreshing and releases 5 hours before I'm going to play a set. Like, you know, new releases like that. And there's so many new producers and guys that you've never even heard of before that are just putting out so many hot tracks that you just, if it's hot, you got to play it.
So how do you keep up with that?
People ask me, yo, what track was that? I'm like, I have no idea. What's the name of it? I have no clue. I just know what it sounds like. you know.
Are there any particular tracks that you guys love to incorporate into your sets, or any classics
Yeah,
that
like
you
maybe an old one. Like
that
an
you
old
always
track.
like to mix into your sets when you're playing?
No, I like to surprise people every time.
I mean, I'm a guy who will jam in the old acapellas, 90 dance music over some stuff like that. I'll get in there and get funky. But as far as like repeating tracks, kind of don't. You know, there's, like I said, there's so much music to put out there. It's like, why go back? And, you know, a lot of DJs do. They like to go back and keep what sound works for
Save,
them.
play the same
But for us,
tracks,
it's
save.
boring. You know, I want to play new music. I want to play hot music. I don't want to play the track I was playing 2 weeks ago, a week ago, 3 weeks ago, 2 months ago.
But-
you know?
No, I get that. I think what is missing, though, is like, you know, back in the day when you would go into a club and you would know that the DJ would play that one song.
Because it was
Where
usually
we-
his track, and he didn't
Yeah,
give it to
and I'll
anyone.
say
Yeah,
with
times
that
have
is we didn't
changed.
make that hit record yet, but it's coming. You know, it's coming. When
Yeah,
it does
yeah,
come, people will know.
Yep,
You know?
yep.
And I
That's
feel
great.
like the time that hit record stays is shorter.
Oh yeah,
You know,
it's much difficult. It's much more difficult to have a record these days that's going to be a classic, where you know that if you're going to play it 5 years from now, everybody's going to still know what it is. It's harder and harder to have that today.
definitely.
You know.
And it's not the same DJ the whole time. You know, people want to see more people. So while we play, we try to put out as much as quality. Like, there's not too many fillers. Like, every track we play is hot, basically.
Did you guys ever think about potentially starting your own party and doing something like?
Well, that's what we did on Cinco de Mayo
Okay.
with Sydney when we bring her. That was our party. That was like, you know, that was our first party together.
Which,
We haven't
by the
really-
way, was TBA's most successful party they ever thrown.
Yeah.
We had over 400 people that night, and the
Clicked
place,
over at
the
the
whole
door.
night was shoulder to shoulder.
That's awesome.
So
That
as
must have
DJs,
felt really
it
good.
felt good as DJs to be able to put that together, fund the operation, do
So
this,
how
sign the
often?
contract.
How often are you gonna do that party? Is it gonna be once a year party?
We're trying to. I mean, we work with another promoter. He works with E-Rock. His name is Mike DeSenza. He helps us. Shout out to Mike. He's another funder of the party. So we're trying to have this party go basically once a month.
Yeah, that works.
We kind of slowed down on that month, but we've been busy doing other things. So, you know, it's more when the time's right. We don't like to rush things. If it feels right, it is right. Instead of trying to put something out there that's just going to do mediocre.
What's your favorite room to play in these days?
I mean, that's a tough one, man. I mean, I've played from Output main room to
That's
Space.
that's a great sound system.
Space main room to Space
The
Miami.
whole
I've
output
played
too, not just one
like
room.
to, you know, big stages on the group. Like, it's hard to say, man. I mean, I would like to say Output, obviously, because just that sound is just
Yeah, it's
ridiculous in there.
ridiculous.
It's absolutely ridiculous. But Cielo, for me, as a DJ, has always been a good room, too. That's more the intimate and, you know, kind of the city, Manhattan home base of
Yep.
the way things rock around here.
Cielo's one of my favorite rooms
Yeah.
for a long time now.
We
Sound
played
system's
CL
tight.
recently, right? The
Yeah,
Nervous
we
Party.
had we had the record release party. It was like a month or two ago. Yeah. Mike and them.
So,
So-
yeah. The house music scene now is predominantly, at least in New York, is in Brooklyn. So how do you guys feel about that? Being that it's the home base from where you guys are from.
I mean, I love it. Doesn't bother me one bit.
Makes life easy.
Makes life a lot easier. Like I said, I live in Staten Island now. Probably be back in Brooklyn soon. Probably shortly. I get sick of it every couple of years. So.
Okay.
And it's a lot closer to party here and play here than it is to go to Manhattan. So.
You guys gonna play your tracks tonight?
Yeah, we have a bunch of unreleased tracks.
Couple already out. Couple not out. Couple we're kind of working on. We're gonna slip in there. So, yeah. Should be interesting.
Did you plan something, or you're just gonna wing it?
Royalty we're trying to work out.
Yeah, a couple of royalty tracks they're not signing for us, and we got to replace, but we'll play them tonight because it's a DJ mix, so we won't get sued.
So going into a gig, do you actually prepare? Like, did you prepare something?
I mean, I prepare most of my music. He prepares most of his music, and then we kind of go off the rip, but clear it with each other in the headphones first. And
So you
we have good
use
chemistry,
Record box?
so-
You use Record box?
yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Cool. Well, we're looking forward to hearing you guys play.
We're looking forward to it.
Thanks for coming
Thank
down.
you guys for having us.
We
We're
don't want
excited.
to waste too much time. We want to get you up there.
Yeah, I appreciate
Yeah.
it.
So we're going to take a 2-minute break, and we're going to get Espinal Nova up on the decks.
So.
Peace.